Hello everyone, welcome to All the Film Things. I'm your host Elizabeth. Thank you for listening. The Oscars are a little bit over a month away, and we are continuing the countdown to the Oscars with my second favorite film of the year, Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon. And joining me to discuss this masterpiece by Martin Scorsese is two brothers, filmmaker Freddy Burgos and artist Bernardo Goya. Thank you both for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
There have only been two other times where there have been saviors of episodes, and you two have joined the list for this one. So thank you, because I honestly...
No, I like it. I like being on podcasts.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
This was the episode of all of them was the hardest to plan. I didn't think it would happen. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we got you. No problem.
So is this a film that you guys were very much looking forward to seeing?
Yeah, it was, because the only ones that were also kind of exciting were like Oppenheimer and Barbie, and that was pretty much it. Like, I wanted to quit watching movies in theaters.
Wow.
Completely after this year, but I was like, I don't have any other choice.
So you weren't crazy about the films that came out this past year?
No, not really. I just saw Beau's Afraid. I thought that was pretty good.
Oh.
I'm kind of ashamed I missed it in theaters.
I mean, I got to be honest, for me, I don't know. It was kind of like a lackluster year for movies, I guess, for the most part. But thankfully, there have been a few filmmakers and a few other films that like I've enjoyed. And Killers of the Flower Moon is one of them. It is in my top 3 of the year.
Nice. So, where on that top 3 does it rank?
I mean, it's number 3 under Poor Things and Holdovers, which was surprisingly my number 1 of the year. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That movie made me cry.
Wow, Oppenheimer didn't even make the top 3.
I mean, it's in the 4, so it's like a step underneath Killers of the Flower Moon.
Okay, I see. That's my top pick, and then Killers of the Flower Moon is second. But it's tough. I mean, this film stars my favorite actor, and Oppenheimer is done by my favorite director. So,
well, I'll say this: Oppenheimer has a really like ensemble cast. We actually have kind of a funny story about Oppenheimer. Like, we went to like a 70mm screening down in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, so lucky.
Yeah.
The closest screening that we could probably go to was like in Miami.
Yeah.
So we did this whole vacation planned out. We had to drive all the way to the Fort Lauderdale, pre-order our tickets, and just secure a spot so we could just watch it the way it was meant to be watched.
Yeah. But like, we weren't even sitting together. We had to like literally fight for our seats.
Yeah, because it was sold out. Our screening was sold out, and it was a first come, first serve type of thing. So like,
oh my God.
By the time the doors opened, and if you weren't one of the people who had an immediate seat beforehand, then it was like every man for himself. And I was one of those people who had to like fight for a seat, because I literally had to jump over an aisle just to steal a seat from a lady who was about to sit where I was about to sit. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to take it. If I have to play the assholes game of musical chairs, then this is what I have to do in order to watch Oppenheimer in a really good seat. So,
and you said you had a funny story about Killers of the Flower Moon too, right?
Oh yeah, so we were basically like walking in, because I was like, man, I honestly had a negative view. I don't know why. I have just always negative view about watching movies in theaters, because I'm like, this is the year. I'm not going to watch any more movies. I might make Killers of the Flower Moon my last movie in theaters. So it was like my saving grace, because, I trust Martin Scorsese as a director.
Of course.
Like, we bought our tickets. We went to the AMC down in Orange Park, right? It was like one of those theaters where it's like, for any of those young filmmakers or those young film buffs in Jacksonville, that's like one of them you go to as a saving grace, that and Sunray. We went into the Orange Park Theater, right? We're about to go in, and then we see our friend. His name is Eduardo. He's over there. He's with his Tinder date and a dog. It was like a service animal dog. And I don't know, I felt kind of bad, because like, we said what's up to him, and we didn't know what was going on. We just saw his dog, and we just started petting it. And he was trying to play it off as a service animal and stuff like that. And
like, yeah, man, this is my dog. This is my little buddy right here. He's just like, hey, what's like?
Wait, so it's not a service dog?
No, apparently not.
Oh,
no, it was his friend.
He just found it on the street, so.
Oh no!
I don't think he found it on the street. That was his dog.
But that was the excuse that he was giving them, or it was like it was like a service animal he gave on the street.
Yeah. But there was only like 4 people when we watched Killers of the Flower Moon over there. I was texting him. I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna try to sneak you in or something like that with your dog, so we could all watch it or something like that." But
yeah, it wasn't like Oppenheimer did really well. It was hard to get tickets. Yeah. Killers of the Flower Moon, I went on opening day. I went twice.
Yeah.
And the first time, it wasn't that packed. And that's shocking. Like a Martin Scorsese film,
Well,
Unfortunately, it's one of his last, and he's acknowledged that.
I don't think it's really that shocking. I think it's because like Oppenheimer works off like mimetic marketing because they had that whole Barbieheimer thing. And half the time, like Martin Scorsese was like shitting on Marvel movies. So I don't know if I could curse, but he was like,
some do, some don't. I don't know how I feel about it, so it's okay.
No, you can.
Sorry. But Martin Scorsese was like dogging on Marvel movies. So like there was that.
Yeah.
His movies are just like too art house for the crowd. I mean, like I would understand if this movie is almost like The Wolf of Wall Street set in the past in a way.
Interesting. Well, I kind of compared it to, this film had a very mafia format. And that's kind of what Scorsese's known for, is these kind of mafia films like Goodfellas.
Mm-hmm.
But that's funny you say The Wolf of Wall Street, because I haven't even thought about that. Did you see that mafia format as well?
Yeah, we did. I think it was more like because it was all like community based or something like that. And they were all like getting connected or something. But yeah, I kind of saw it. I didn't even think it was a Western. I was actually surprised, like, oh yeah, he's just going back to his mafia format. I thought it was going to be like a true legit like Western or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is, I think, Scorsese's first Western.
I mean, it is one of his period epics. I would consider it as like one of his spiritual films, I guess. It's somewhere along the lines of like Kundun or Silence, somewhere along the lines of that sort of era.
Mm-hmm. So, about the whole mafia thing, there was that one point where Hale is about to leave town, conveniently, and he tells Ernest about the Smith job. Got to get the Smith job done. That was so mafia-like.
Yeah, the other part that was like mafia-like, I don't remember that scene that much, but no, I do. It was the one with the redneck guy, right? Is that the one you were talking about?
Henry Grammer. He was wearing the hat. He was the one who connected John and Kirby with Ernest and Hale. He went with Hale to Texas for that event.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
He always wore a hat, and he died. He was in that car that was hit into the tree.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember that. I'll be honest with you. I'm just running off memories with Killers of the Flower Moon because I feel like it's more of like a film that you have to actually feel it. I like those type of films because they got like the little slideshow pictures thing, which I kind of like in movies where it's like they just show like a slideshow of, you know, random pictures with cool music and stuff like that. But I do remember the one they remade The Departed with Freemasons. I thought that was really funny. And when we saw that scene, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, they're recreating that torture scene with Leo just with a paddle instead of a boot. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa. I didn't make that. Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Wow. Instead of Jack Nicholson, it's Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
But I like how you talked about the opening with the pictures and that kind of documentary one-reeler element to it. The opening of the film was just perfect.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it starts out with this scene of the natives talking about how their culture is dying. And the children are looking in, and then the oil booms, which, how cinematic is that moment?
Yeah.
How did you guys feel about the score? Did you immediately like it?
I like it. I like blues stuff. So, I mean, like, and it fits real well with the period. So I'm a big sucker for that. I like the way he used it. I think it was really good. I like the tone that he conveyed through the music. I like that rock and roll style that he started off in the beginning. I was actually really surprised. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I mean, yeah, Scorsese's like one of those directors who are very keen on their soundtracks. So hearing those drums throughout the film soundtrack, it sort of has this way of like pulling you in. It's sort of like hypnotic in a way where it's, you know, this is the type of thing that screams your attention for like the next 3 hours, which honestly, it serves well because for like a 3-hour movie, I didn't even feel the runtime because I was so captivated with the story and I was so captivated with the way Scorsese sort of honed his elements in here.
Mm-hmm. So it flew right by for you.
It definitely did because I was very captivated.
Yeah.
I was just so immersed by like the world that Scorsese created with this movie.
He does a good job at that because he did the same thing with Wolf of Wall Street and Goodfellas.
Mm-hmm.
I could say the same thing about Silence too because like I was so immersed with Silence by the way the Jesuit priests are in that sort of period of suffering, trying to find religious exile. But, you know.
On my 2023 in Film episode, which came out, I think, 2 episodes now, my friend Sammy, he feels like you absolutely feel the runtime. And the first 2 times I saw it, which actually was in theaters, I kind of felt the runtime towards the end, like around 45 minutes left or 30 minutes left. But then I watched it yesterday, and it flew right by.
Yeah. I mean, the second time I saw it, like, it was immediately after work. And I work, like, super early hours. So by the time I got off of work, I just saw Killers of the Flower Moon the second time. And I believe like somewhere along the middle where I think it's like right after the moment where Leonardo got arrested by the police. That's around the time I started falling asleep.
Did you actually fall asleep watching?
I mean, that was just because I was tired of work, but like I was still like, you know, even with my eyes closed, I can still follow the story. Like, I can still...
Okay, we're about to shame you, Freddy, for falling asleep during this artistic masterpiece.
Yes, we are.
No, that was only the second time. It was the second time. The first time I was just eating it up.
So Freddy fell asleep watching a Martin Scorsese film.
Second time. The second time. Emphasis on the second time, and I was tired from work. So,
do you think that the 3.5 hours was a good length, or should it have been shorter or longer?
No, it's a good length.
Mm-hmm.
Because I saw this one video essay. It talked about encyclopedic films. Those are rarely getting made nowadays because Gen Z audiences, they don't know how to process 3-hour movies and they can't handle that much information. They'd rather just scroll through their TikTok. So
exactly, the attention span is a little bit shorter now.
And I feel like if you do shorten the runtime, there's a lot of information that you'll probably miss out on, especially with the Osage world. So,
did you understand the film the first time around? Because this is a hard one to analyze. This is, Scorsese has a way of like really ingraining subtlety into the story and the details.
Oh no, I understand it the first time I was watching it because it was like a bunch of white guys marrying all these native women, these women of color, and I feel like that's very. I don't know how else to say this, but I think it's very fitting because it's almost like past lives cranked up to 11. It was almost like interracial, like cuckoldry or something like that. I don't really know. It's like almost like colonization or something like that.
Oh,
that's what I kind of see in it. But there might be other different subtleties. But on the surface level, honestly, like when you watch a Martin Scorsese the first time or something like that, I think he's like an easy director to read.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I feel like. Because like he makes movies for the masses, and it's like the message is, to me at least, it's very clear right away what he's saying. Like you could instantly read like what he's saying, and like But on the second viewing, I feel like you could get a different message each time. But that's the message I got when I was watching it.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's interesting. For me, whenever I'm watching a Scorsese film, it needs at least 2 viewings to try and understand, because the subtleties in there are so deep, and there's no one who does it like him in that way. And I think that's why there was a lot of blurred lines and a lot of argument online over certain topics in the film, is because it's so subtle that you really got to pay attention.
Yeah.
It's ingrained in there.
I mean, I know originally like Scorsese wanted it to be revolved around Jesse Plemons' character, and that was supposed to be Leo's character.
Yeah.
But I think that was a good way to divert the story, to focus more on the romance, to focus more on the characters, as opposed to making it like a white savior movie. Because I feel like that would have just taken away from the Osage like era, and the way that sort of narrative has been like shined over for like the past like couple of centuries. So
yeah,
it's very interesting you say that you have to watch this movie like twice, because I feel like also in another way, if you kind of look at it, by the end of the day, Martin Scorsese is like a real cinema nerd. He lives and breathes cinema. It's almost like he's speaking in a different language. So I think another way you gotta interpret his movie, you gotta be a real cinema. You gotta actually know the language. It's like he's speaking Chinese to the audience. You know what I'm saying?
That's actually a great way to put it, because I actually just saw an interview with Leonardo, and he said you cannot have a conversation with Scorsese and not talk about film. He lives and breathes film, as you said.
Yeah.
I mean, he is like the top film aficionado, at least for directors.
Yeah.
I think Leonardo said he's seen every film from 1980 on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to read the IMDb plot summary for the film real quick. When oil is discovered in 1920s Oklahoma under Osage Nation land, the Osage people are murdered one by one until the FBI steps in to unravel the mystery. And it stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Lily Gladstone, Robert De Niro, and it's based on the book by David Grann.
I never read the book, or I never seen anything else that Lily Gladstone has been in.
Really?
Yeah.
The film that Scorsese knew, she's the perfect pick for this role, was Certain Women. That was a film with Michelle Williams and Kristen Stewart.
I think I heard. Who directed that one?
Kelly Reichardt.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard of Kelly Reichardt. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a frequent collaborator with Michelle Williams. When I first heard the name Lily Gladstone, I felt like she looked familiar. And then when I heard that Scorsese chose her through Certain Women, I immediately remembered what scene she was in and her character because she had such a strong presence in that film. And she had these great scenes with Kristen Stewart. I saw this film last like maybe 5 or so years ago over that. The fact that I remembered her in that shocked me, but I immediately knew. But what a performance she gives in this film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Her reaction shots, the first one when she sees that Anna was killed in the forest, that is one of the strongest reaction shots I've ever seen. And the same can be said about when she learns that Rita dies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Whew.
There's a lot of Osage death in this one.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you think, considering it was a Scorsese film, that it would be more violent?
I mean, there are definitely like some expectations you have going into a Scorsese film because the way like he sort of like utilizes violence, especially with Goodfellas and then like all of his other stuff. But knowing Scorsese, I think, violence is sort of used as a tool, I guess, to push the narrative forward.
I mean, it was just for the story.
Yeah.
It was how else can we get to tell this brutal movie about people trying to take over your land?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You ever seen that movie, How to Be a Latin Lover, where that Mexican dude is like trying to marry all these old women for money? I kind of felt that. I told Freddie that it was like almost like a slight art house.
It was like a white gigolo movie almost.
I know what film you're talking about. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But when you immediately said that, I was like, where are you going with this?
Oh, yeah.
I could not figure out the similarity, but when you explained it, wow. Yeah, there's some similarity to it.
Yeah.
But that's a comedy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a comedy.
Yeah, so different films.
Well, I mean, like, you can laugh at some parts of this movie because they do some, like, really ridiculous stuff over here where it's like you really, like, hate them. Scorsese is good with that. Like, he's mixing good with, like, these black comedy elements
Yeah.
in his movies.
Scorsese has a way of making you sympathize for characters you're supposed to hate. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like Leo's character in this movie was kind of an asshole, and if you were to put him on an IQ chart of all the characters that he's ever played, he's pretty low in there. I'm pretty sure Ernie's like he's not much of a smart guy.
No.
During the times where he got caught and he tried to cover himself, and he's not that very intelligent.
So that's part of why I was asking if you fully got it the first time around, because I don't think I caught on to just how dumb and dim-witted Ernest was. It took me a few tries, and after the first try, I went in knowing to look out for that. And yesterday I looked out for it as well, and I found it even more. But did you catch on to how dumb he was from, the first conversation with him and DeNiro?
Oh,
Hale?
Easily.
Really?
No, by the time, like, I don't know, from that first exchange alone, when he was just talking about when he got home, and then Robert De Niro was asking him, like, oh, what kind of women do you like? Oh, I like white women, like red, yellow, blue. I like all kinds of women.
Mm-hmm.
You sort of know from his, like, inflictions and the way he sort of, like, sets himself, like, yeah, he's not that.
If you really, like, look at his character, he's just like one of those fresh guys that just got out of the military.
Yeah.
He's almost in the same intelligent level as, like, his other character, Travis Bickle, where he's working based off almost emotion.
Yeah.
Oh, Travis Bickle is such an enigma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Martin Scorsese has this real thing where it's like he's able to like capture the real dark side of like masculinity. You see all these like film bros that be like, oh yeah, that's me, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like Ernest is almost in the same way where it's like, oh yeah, you gotta get rich, get money, get all these women, and make your way in the world. Do all that thing. The just a American success story in a sort of way. But I wouldn't say like Leonardo DiCaprio's character in Killers of the Flower Moon. He's not as introspective as Travis Bickle is. I saw like some analysis of Travis Bickle and like, I don't know, Taxi Driver is a really good movie, but I think the more I watch it, the more depressing it becomes.
Yeah.
As a man in his like 20s or something like that, I'm like, oh shoot, man. You can't even watch like movies like that because it just gets you in a certain like, it's like an unhealthy mental state. I'm like, oh geez.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know.
I don't think I caught on to Ernest, his lack of intelligence, because I think it's so unlike his other characters that it didn't come to me as fast as it probably should have.
Yeah.
Because I am such a fan of him that I know what kind of roles he takes on. I know what typical character type he does.
Mm-hmm.
But this was different. And I saw a video where someone was like, not many actors would play this role and be willing to play such a dim character.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think the actors like star power, do you think that has an effect on the movie? Like, I feel like it kind of does in a way Or it's like, your preconceived notions of like all the actors' works.
In a way, I do think that if it was someone different playing the role, which I don't want, I love Leonardo in this role. I think he was fantastic, as he always is.
Yeah.
But I think if someone else played him, I would have been able to see through it better. But I'm also, if I'm watching a Leonardo film, I'm also like watching his acting. I'm looking out for other things. So sometimes I don't catch that, his true nature, as fast because of that. And that can be said for other of my favorite actors in roles too. I'm trying to look out for their trademarks and just their acting because I'm so mesmerized by their talent. So I think that had to do with kind of a shield to me seeing the lack of intelligence Ernest has.
It is. That's kind of fair.
This is Leonardo's 7th film with Scorsese, De Niro's 11th.
Yep.
The first feature film they've done together since Marvin's Room in 1996.
Oh,
I haven't seen Marv.
Oh, Marvin's Room?
No, it's like That's My Boy or That Boy's Life or something.
Yeah, that's the first one. This Boy's Life, that was Leonardo's second film. That was 93. And then in 1996, Marvin's Room, De Niro had a small role in that. He played a doctor. It was Leonardo with Meryl Streep, Diane Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
They hardly had an interaction in that film. It was more This Boy's Life. And their dynamic, Leonardo has compared, is very similar to their dynamic in This Boy's Life.
Mm-hmm.
The uncle and the... I have it written here somewhere.
Like the father figure or something like that?
Yeah, they have... Let's see, where did I put it?
Oh, while you're looking for that, I think that was like the inspiration for like that Drake song Marvin's Room or something like that. Did you like watch it? Like while Where was making the song?
I haven't heard that song in so long, but yeah, it has to be. It's the same title. Who else would come up with Marvin's Room? Like,
unless Drake had a buddy named Marvin he shared a room with.
Found it. Okay. So Leonardo did an interview with Good Morning America, and he talked about how their dynamic from This Boy's Life is very similar to the one in Killers of the Flower Moon. He said, I did my first major role in a movie with Robert De Niro, and exactly 30 years later, I'm getting to work with him again, almost doing a version of that movie of the abused sort of stepchild whose father figure has a mental control over him and is abusive. Have you guys seen This Boy's Life?
I seen like that clip where De Niro like sticks a jar in his eye and then says, "Oh, he didn't finish the sauce" or something like that. I didn't see the whole movie.
Yeah, I still have to catch up on This Boy's Life because it's hard to find on like any streaming services.
It really is. I had to get the DVD. It's never streaming, but it's worth the watch. I recommend watching it, especially now after Killers of the Flower Moon, just to find the parallels of that dynamic and how they were back then and how strong of an actor Leonardo was at that point against De Niro too. Like, yeah, I should probably rewatch that one too now.
Yeah, that was the same year that What's Eating Gilbert's Grape came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a really nice filmography in the 90s.
And he was nominated for his first Oscar for What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yeah.
You seen The Basketball Diaries, right?
Oh yeah, 96. Yeah, 96. That was a good one too.
Yeah, I like it. It was a pretty wild performance for him. I think that was like the first time he did something really extreme or something.
Yeah. But was the collaboration between De Niro, DiCaprio, and Scorsese a big motivation to see this film? Was that an interest to you?
A little bit. Didn't they also do a commercial where they were like promoting?
They did
Yes.
like a short.
The audition.
Yeah, where they're
That
like
was so
competing for
funny.
like different roles. And I was
Yeah,
thinking that maybe this was that movie.
Well, Killers of the Flower Moon has been in the works for years.
Yeah.
This film always stayed on his IMDb as like a pre-production in the works.
Because I remember like they announced it in like 2018, 2019, and then it kept on getting delayed from obviously COVID and then like all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And when they finally released it, like, hey, you know what? It just dropped.
Yeah, and then the rumors in 2020 were going around that, Leonardo's going to change his role. He wants to have more of a supporting role instead of being the lead, which wasn't reported exactly correctly because...
He's still the lead.
Yeah, he's still the lead. They just changed the prominence of Ernest and diminished the Tom White character a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So Scorsese has, like, one of his trademarks, it seems, is the arc shot. Did you notice that when De Niro and Leonardo are first on the screen together, he does an arc shot around them?
Oh yeah, the one where it's like a 360 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does that a lot. He did that in Goodfellas. He did that, I think, in Wolf of Wall Street.
A lot in The Departed.
And maybe Raging Bull.
Oh,
I could be
maybe,
wrong,
yeah.
but that's always like a signature. That's one of Scorsese's signature shots.
Yeah. And I thought it was just so funny, the signature shot of them their first time, the three of them collaborating, it's the signature arc shot.
Yeah, because as soon as I saw that shot, I immediately thought about that scene in Goodfellas, right after the heist, where they're out at the bar and then like De Niro's just greeting Ray Liotta for all their success.
So wait, I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Since you're like a female or something like that, like, do you think Martin Scorsese's movies are too masculine, or like, what do you think viewing it from the female perspective? Because like I feel like watching it now, especially in your 20s, it becomes more haunting, especially as a man. Do you think, is there like kind of like a difference?
That's funny you asked that question, because for a long time, I thought, yes, he makes films more towards the male audience. You know, all these movies with male characters in the prominent roles, stories around guys. And then I watched Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. And I loved that film because that was one of the most authentic, three-dimensional portrayals of a woman I've ever seen on film. And it surprised me that it was Scorsese because, as we've talked about, Taxi Driver, Goodfellas, Wolf of Wall Street, The Departed, all these guy-centered films. And then there's Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore from 1974 that no one talks about, but it was so good. And I think if more people watch that one, then that argument will be a little bit lessened, a little bit, just because of how right he got it for Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. So that film made me have a lot more respect for him. Before I saw it, I knew, yes, he's one of the greatest directors of all time, especially of our time now. And I kind of sort of saw it, but after watching Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, it like opened my eyes. I saw it now. And I think maybe that's why I'm able to appreciate his films a little bit more, like Killers of the Flower Moon and such now, because I had found that film. That argument is still going around. He still makes films for the male audience, and I understand that point. I do. It's not an equal proportion in his work. You know, there's more guy films than female-focused films, but
yeah,
that's one for the female audience to get some more respect of Scorsese. That's the one to watch.
Yeah. It's funny that you bring up a movie like this because he has like a weird pattern because it's like he gets comfortable with doing the films he's good at, which I think he's good at doing all those kind of like ultra masculine, like kind of deconstruction type of films. And then he's able to make like these outliers like Hugo or like that one movie he did with Daniel Day-Lewis and Winona Ryder. I forgot the name of it.
Talking about Age of Innocence?
Yeah, that one. And Alice Doesn't Live. And he also did Boxcar Bertha, I think, as well.
He also did New York, which kind of like was a commercial failure for him. He piggybacked that with Raging Bull because it took a while for him to like get back into movies, and De Niro sort of convinced him like, yeah, this is the type of movie that you should make even though you're not into sports. And then, you know, he has a way of like championing sort of like toxic masculine characters in a way, and that's sort of one of the things I appreciate about Raging Bull, as gruesome as it is when it fleshes out his character. There's a lot you could pull just from like breaking down like Jake LaMotta like all together.
Yeah. There's two things that we just discussed that could be explored further. The toxic masculinity, which we see in this film with the influence of De Niro's character Hale over Leonardo's Ernest. And there's also talking about the humor, the comedy aspect to his films, the dark comedy, black comedy. What scenes in this film did you find the funniest? Because
anything with Brendan Fraser.
Anything.
Oh
with Brendan
yeah.
Okay.
No, that caught me off guard because like this is his first movie after like his Oscar win, and then by the time he opens his mouth, he just sounds like a ridiculous Charles Dickens type of lawyer. I believe the verdict is that you found him guilty. So.
That was one of the most shocking entrances in a film. There's that shot of him sitting with De Niro. He looks, unhappy. He looks serious. And then he just gets up in this explosion. Just loud, like talking with to the court.
Yeah, John Lithgow.
Yes, yeah. John Lithgow was saying, no, this can't happen, which was that was a surprise cameo.
Yeah.
That was awesome to see Lithgow.
That's a guy from Monty Python, right?
No, but he was Farquaad.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I guess one of his dreams and like bucket list things to work with Scorsese.
Yeah.
So you say the funniest moments that come to mind were Brendan Fraser. You immediately thought that was funny. You weren't like alarmed that like, oh my god, he's so loud.
I mean, it was just ridiculous.
Well, yeah, no.
He was very flamboyant.
We thought it was gonna be like another serious dramatic role from him, but it's like when he opened his mouth,
He's like, I believe the verdict is up.
we were like busted out laughing. Also, because me and Freddie, we grew up with a lot of like those right-wing Christian conspiracy people, and so the Freemason stuff. When we saw that, we were like, you know what? If we show this to one of our like buddies that are into that, they would definitely like get their alarms rocking, and then they'll like do all the little like analysis towards it. I was like, oh damn. I'm like, jeez.
Yeah.
When I asked the question, I thought maybe De Niro and Leonardo in the car. He's like, did you tell him to shoot him from the...
Oh yeah. I forgot about that scene.
You guys found that funny?
I thought it was like a natural thing that they normally do. He always has that in his movies where it's like they do some dumb murder or something like that.
They just counterbalance it with some skimpy remark, I guess.
Yeah. I think the guy that was like, he had like the country accent. I think I really appreciate Scorsese for putting that in because I honestly like movies like that. Like one of my favorite movies of all time is Gummo. I really like that movie. And it's like, it's very rare to hear someone from like that hard of an accent. So like whenever that guy that Leonardo DiCaprio was trying to get, you know, you just kind of feel bad for him. But he seems like a genuine guy.
Oh, the guy with he had a lot of little kids, John.
Yeah. Is that the one you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, he was the one who drove Minnie to the cemetery. And then when Ernest and Hale were orchestrating the Rita and Bill explosion, Henry Grammer goes and calls for John, and then we see him, which that was another great reveal. Like, oh, he was the driver of Minnie.
Yeah.
You know, this is corrupt right here, too.
You can feel like that dude didn't want to do it. He didn't want to be a part of it. So you really got to feel bad for him. Like, you need the money, man. I mean, he got caught. He's like, ah, damn.
Yeah, and Blackie was also caught because of Ernest's poor decision-making.
I don't know if we're mixing up the characters. Was that Blackie or was that...
Blackie was the one that they would go around at night and steal stuff with.
Oh, yeah.
When Leonardo was in the jail, they brought Blackie Thompson out and they talked.
Yeah, now I remember. He's the one that stole his car and then they got the free insurance off him.
Yes.
Yep, I remember that.
There's a common theme that I'm finding and a similarity between Hale and Ernest, that they both get other people to do their dirty work.
Yeah, they normally do that in the Mafia. He does a good job with that, yeah.
Yeah, another Mafia-like quality. Even at one point, Ernest goes to tell John, it's time for the Smith job, it's time. And he's like, why don't you do it yourself, instead of getting someone else to do your dirty work? Well, Hale does the same thing. He orchestrated the death of Kirby later in the film by tipping off, oh, your store is going to get a robbery tonight. And then Kirby's dead, because that's what he wanted. Hale is like this master manipulator.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. Even from the very end, when Leonardo's walking away from him in the jail, he's yelling out to him, I love you, son. He says, don't throw it away, son. And he keeps yelling it to him. He doesn't quit.
Yeah, he's trying to, like, keep him as, like, because he's trying to play the father figure card, like, oh, yeah, we did everything that we built for, or something like that.
Yeah. That was one of the most evil characters. De Niro, this is one of his best roles in recent years, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than Dirty Grandpa, you know.
Yeah, much better than that one.
De Niro has been playing like a lot of grandpa roles.
Yeah. Even in The Irishman, I think that was like Martin Scorsese's take on like, you know those like old people movies?
Oh,
like,
God.
Like The Las Vegas or something like that?
Oh, like, with Michael Caine.
Yeah, Going in Style or something?
Yeah, Going in Style, yeah.
I'll be honest, I thought this was better than The Irishman. I didn't really like The Irishman at all, to be honest.
I thought The Irishman was kind of sterile, and there were a lot of expectations I had going into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't as captivated with that as I was with like Killers of the Flower Moon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of ironic because like that was the same year that Endgame came out, and that was around the time like Scorsese said like, oh yeah, you know what? A lot of movies these days are just, you know, being fed onto Marvel. It's just all.
And then he ended up using CGI and have that whole bad like taking him out of the convenience store, like stepping on. I don't know.
The thing that got me the most, it was that one particular scene where De Niro, or young De Niro, was kind of just beating up a guy who had a hit on his dog.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
And then, like, the way he beat him up, he just beat him up like an old man. And I'm thinking to myself, this is supposed to be a young De Niro. But he's just moving like an old man, and just like it just took me out of the movie so much, and it's just like okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I say The Irishman is like one of his worst movies. I'm not even gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hot take, but it's just like
No, it's not even a hot take. If you compare it to all his other movies, it's not. For one, it's a very digital movie, and like in comparison, he uses film a lot. So I mean, like, there's that element, and the other element is like I don't know. It's just like kind of like derivative of his other stuff. But this one and The Killers of the Flower Moon, you could say almost the same thing. But I think it's like he cranks up all his styles together, and then it's like it almost makes it his like almost magnum opus in a way.
Killers of the Flower Moon?
Yeah.
yeah.
You would regard this as his magnum opus?
Yeah, because
Wow.
he took the lessons from like all of his like movies that were spiritual, like Silence, Kundun, The Last Temptation of Christ, and then he combines it with all of his like mafia movies. This is like his equivalent to Ron, like of Akira Kurosawa. He took all of the lessons of his films from his other movies, and he like cranked up his style, and he was able to show soft, sensitive women like what he did with. I never seen Age of Innocence or Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, but I'm pretty sure he does the same thing with Lily Gladstone, one of his strong female characters, and he is able to take those toxic masculine traits from like Taxi Driver and Raging Bull, and then Robert De Niro's like quintessential gangster characters that you see in like Casino and Goodfellas, and he's able to take it in like a Western setting that he normally likes, like the movies he normally idolizes. Like you seen the film course that he did, like Martin Scorsese's personal journey through film school. He talked about like Duel in the Sun and High Noon and like all the westerns that he normally watches and all the gangster movies he normally watches. Takes all those lessons and then he just like puts them all in the blender and like serves it up in Killers of the Flower Moon. If I were to recommend any Martin Scorsese movie as a quintessential one to go in, this is like probably one of the movies that I'll probably be pushing, and then I'll probably push like Silence and something else. But yeah.
If you regard it as his magnum opus, would that mean that this is Scorsese's best film?
Yeah, I would say.
Wow.
So.
Best one he's made in a while.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a century.
In a century?
Oh, of this century.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
It's like neck and neck with Silence for me and Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it does feel like a culmination of his work and taking little bits here and there from his different films, and especially the character with De Niro, as you said, and shifting the sympathy and the focus, and what it's been called the heart of the film is the character of Molly. Do you feel like she should have been in more of the film? Because there was an argument about this online.
No, I don't think she should have been more in the film. I think it's equally balanced in this movie because honestly, if you add her more in the film, what else would she do? Because she got sick in like the middle of the film, and if you try to add more in the film, right, it's not gonna have as much of an impact. All the actions are kind of like equal in a way, and at least that's how I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know what would contribute if she was more in the film. Like I think they'll just be like, it might end up being like too sappy, to be honest with you.
Okay. I kind of felt the same way, and then when I understood what Scorsese was doing with that epilogue, knowing his restriction as an outsider of the Osage, that he can only go so far in telling the story. So when he reflects on that in the end as himself, as his third cameo in the film,
yeah,
a lot of people don't like that epilogue ending. At first, I didn't really care for it either, but then when I saw the explanation for it and really understood it, it makes perfect sense, even though it feels a little off just because it's such a stark difference from what we had just watched. Scorsese acknowledges his limitations in telling the story. And there was another interview by the former head of the Osage Nation, and he says, with Scorsese's film, we're now feet away from the authenticity of telling this story instead of miles away from previous tellings of the Osage people and Native Americans.
Yeah.
But what did you think of that epilogue?
I kind of felt like it was like almost like Asteroid City, like a Wes Anderson type of way. I don't know. It kind of caught me off guard, but it's very interesting. You said something about the Osage Nation and said he's taking it so far.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought the epilogue was kind of depressing. Like hearing it, I don't know how you would depict like Martin Scorsese being in a trap. I think that'd be too overkill. And I mean, it's a good way to take you away from the film, but I don't know. To be honest, I kind of saw this like what I said before. It's like kind of beyond the problems of the Osage Nation and more of like the dark side of like those interracial type of like not necessarily romance, but like just fetishization. It's like, where like the white man like colonizes your women or something like that. And like, that's not something where, it's not just like the Osage Nation. It's like, you get other societies and communities that are kind of affected by that type of like lustful type of nature, where it's like you desire everything and you want to grab everything and you're just like, screw anyone that's in your way or something like that just in order to get it. And in the way, like this sort of toxic result on what happens and, the consequences that it brings. I feel like, after watching it, it's like, man, I think it was a good take. It was a good take on that. I don't know. I told Freddie, like, I'm not going to watch Past Lives because, like,
oh, God.
Excuse my language, but that seems like, some weird advanced cuckoldry type of stuff. So, I mean, like, I'm not going to.
Past Lives is so different. It's my third favorite film of the year.
Is your third favorite?
Third favorite. I loved it so much.
I don't know, because I'm an Asian dude. So, like, seeing that type of, like, Asian and white man, that hits too hard. So, I'm not going to watch it.
No, you got to watch it. It's a complex story. It's a beautiful story. It's so different. There's no concern of any dark side of what you're saying in that film.
I don't know. Maybe I'm putting too much on it. I don't know.
You gotta watch it. You'll see. It's so good. It's so complex in a different way. That's a true film in this day and age. Like, that is a rare one.
Frey, is she right about that too?
I saw it. I don't know. Like, I have a weird relationship with Past Lives, to be honest. It's just like, it was kind of, it just gave me like this sort of daunting feeling.
I believe it's a good film. It's just like a personal thing, like, too much emotional bang.
There's a lot it says where it's like, oh shit, okay. Where I realized, man, this is how life is.
Yeah.
When that sort of person in your life sort of just leaves you and then you keep wondering like, hey.
But yeah, no, going back on the Scorsese thing, I don't want to talk about Past Lives too much. I'm just saying like that type of take on that type of subject, It's a very interesting take, and it's good that Scorsese chose to take the story in a different direction than rather doing like another Help type of movie where it's like, you get like this white savior trying to save the Osage or like Dances of Wolves or something like that.
Yeah, Scorsese just like us. He's out looking in.
Yeah.
Where the people are in the Osage Nation. So, as strong as a filmmaker as he is, I think it's a good thing that he sort of pays respect to the Osage people and that notion.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that ending was actually pretty perfect, acknowledging like, yeah, he's not the most qualified to tell the story.
Mm.
He is an outsider. He is acting as the audience, and he can only take the story so far.
Yeah. And also, if you think about it, he did the same thing in The Wolf of Wall Street, too, because, like, he ended it with Jordan Belfort going to the audience and saying, oh, yeah, addressing, like, the fourth wall addressing thing, and I think that fits perfectly with his filmography, too, because it's like, he always addresses the fourth wall, and, like, he's trying to separate you from the movie world. I think those types of endings are really perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great parallel, also.
I mean, that notion with The Wolf of Wall Street, I think what he's trying to say with that ending is that, like, after all that happened with Jordan Belfort, he's just one of us in a way. He's not that sort of like high overall figure that he's hyped himself up to be like throughout his career.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of it, like, he ain't that special.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You had mentioned Beau is Afraid just recently watching that.
Oh, yeah.
Scorsese said he used Ari Aster's films Beau is Afraid and Midsummer as influences for the film's pacing. Did you see any similarities in the pacing between either Beau is Afraid and this film? I'm not sure if you've seen Midsummer.
Well, no, I seen Midsummer in theaters, and Ari Aster is like a messed up dude, but I like his films. Like, I saw Beau is Afraid, I thought that was like the funniest movie that I've seen, to be honest with you. Because it was like so goofy, like in the beginning. But I think for Midsummer and Beau is Afraid, they put you in like sort of a trance in a way.
Yeah.
I think that's what Martin Scorsese was trying to do. That's why I said his spiritual films actually play a really big role in like, trying to shape this movie. Because like, Martin Scorsese is a very, like I can relate to him because I'm a Catholic too. Honestly, like I'm like a Filipino, like an Asian boy. That's my background, right? So like I honestly cannot relate to any Asian Filipino filmmakers, but I can only relate to like Italian Catholic filmmakers because we're on the same spiritual level. And Martin Scorsese is one of those filmmakers. So like he does the spiritual pacing that he normally does in like, Silence and Last Temptation of Christ. But, I think using the references of Ari Aster, because like, his films are, I'd say his films are kind of satanic in a way, but they put you in a sort of like trance to like, lure the audience into this like deep world of like, what's that, pagan religions and like, the weirder side of America or something like that.
Okay. So the Ernest and Molly relationship is incredibly complex. The one question that people have been wondering and debating, even though Scorsese, Leonardo, and Lily have insisted that Molly and Ernest really do love each other. But did you think that they really loved each other?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like one of those like toxic relationship type of things where it's like, oh yeah, people say they love each other or something like that, but they provide no good qualities for each other. They don't bring anything to the table. Like what I said, it's just like one of those 90-day fiance type of relationships, one of those interracial relationships. I'm just gonna keep on hammering that. I don't know. I just think I don't know why I'm going with that, but
I mean, they had a foundation that sort of like kickstarted their relationship.
yeah.
But I feel as though Molly started to see all through the bullshit that Leo gave her.
Yeah.
And Leo was sort of blinded by the fact of his own ego, of his own ways of like carrying life, to where it's like he was the one who messed up.
Well, no, I'd say this, like there are some parts where it's like, yeah, in the beginning you kind of fooled that, yeah, they really do love each other, but like the influence around them, like, DiCaprio's family, like De Niro and stuff like that, they influence like, those type of like relationships to turn a bit sour. I bet you if De Niro wasn't there to be like that sort of influence,
Yeah.
it would be like a really happy relationship and there wouldn't be a movie.
In a way, the love was there, but it was just like all the stuff that happened in the movie that sort of just took it away from.
Yeah, because like personally, you kind of see relationships that are like that. Like, you see like a really nice couple, but then you see the influences around them. They kind of turn pretty toxic.
Mm-hmm.
They pick sides or something like that. They contribute to like, I like what I'm saying. If they were separated, if they went off and do something else, there wouldn't be a movie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
There's two moments towards the end which conflict here. So when Leonardo's testifying, the camera stays on him and he admits to really everything under the influence of Hale. But he makes it clear that when asked, did Hale have a hand in you marrying Molly? Did he persuade you? Did he tell you you should marry Molly? He insists that, no, I drove her in my cab. That's just how it happened with us. But they do meet before they have that talk, Hale and Ernest, about if you marry her, then the head rights can flow our way.
But this was before they met, right?
They had met. He saw her across the street. He picked her up and that horse race was going on, that carriage race. And she says, do you have any money on this? No. So let's go then. So they meet and he drives her to a church and there seems to be an attraction there. That's what people say.
Yeah.
And then we see a scene where Ernest and Hale are talking like, oh yeah, I know Molly. I've driven her a few times. And that's when Hale kind of like persuades like, oh, you should maybe, take this a little further. You should.
Well, I mean, like looking at it from a surface point of view, it's a small town, first of all, because it's like there's only like a handful of people and like Hale, De Niro's character, he's a very influential guy in the movie. So, I mean, like, in the first watch, if you're thinking about it, because like he's not like what we said, Leonardo DiCaprio is not the smartest character in the movie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, they met a couple times and he's like, instinctually, if De Niro was saying that, there's nothing saying he's forcing her. He's sort of like a wingman, almost like in a romantic comedy where it's like, oh yeah, you should marry her. This is a good catch or something like that, If it was any other movie, like, in, let's say, Meet the Parents or something like that, And it was like almost that situation, like, oh yeah, she's a perfect girl or something like that. No one would have like a second thought. But like, since there's like so much violence and so much corruption in the movie, people are having like these second thoughts.
So when Hale said this to him, you think Ernest took this as like, oh, he's helping me out. He's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So he insists that he does love her, and which is a really tough thing to try and, you can see it in subtle moments between them that he does love her, but it's still like, how? So at the end, when Molly asks him, what did you put in my medicine? And after he had said, I've said all my truths, my soul is clean, it feels like a relief. And when she asks him that, he says, insulin. He doesn't admit to it.
You know what? I think people are asking the wrong question. Is like, it's not if he loves her or something like that. It's who's he more loyal to, you know? Because like the question is about the whole movie is about loyalty because
and betrayal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DiCaprio is part of like, you know, almost like that's why I come back to the Freemason thing. It's like almost part of this like fraternity type of mafia type of, you know, camaraderie. It's almost like in the military because he's a military guy. So it's like, you know, God, country, family, you know, but you got to figure out which family he got put up first or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That type of loyalty in the movie, which I don't know. I don't think people are asking the right questions when it comes to like, oh yeah, does he really love her? Or I think people should be asking, oh, who does he like more? Because like that's more like debate on like, you know, who's he more loyal to, you know?
Well, he says that he loves money almost as much as he loves his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his actions don't fully reflect that, or he's just completely manipulated. Towards the end, when Ernest is being held and Tom White is talking to him, Tom White is telling him, I think this is not the way you wanted your life to turn out. You were heavily under the influence of your uncle.
Mm.
And he almost seems like he feels bad for Ernest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says he's done nothing for you, when in reality, you would think that he did the opposite. You know, he got him a job, he did all this.
Mm.
He has a completely different view.
Mm-hmm.
But Tom White is telling him, he's done nothing for you. That's the real reality. So do you think we should feel bad for Ernest?
I mean, a little bit, but just like, I don't know, it's like a ratio, because it's like he does so much stupid stuff in the movie, where it's like, you know, you feel bad for him for a little bit, but like by the end of the movie, it's like, I don't know if I really do feel bad for him, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
in a
like-
weird way, like he sort of chose that sort of lifestyle over his wife.
Yeah, exactly.
He
Yes.
sort of chose to do it. And even though he sort of felt the consequences of killing Rita, doing all the stuff that he was ordered to do by Hale, I feel like he didn't really. I mean, there are some consequences that he suffered from it, but all in all, like he's still pretty loyal. He still pretty much stands with what he did with trying to do for money, like as opposed to like.
And also that romance thing is also kind of the same type of romance as like Henry Hill and Karen, where it's like, you know, do they really love each other, or does Henry like the idea more of like being in power, like being of the lifestyle, you know?
In a way, like in that notion, like Henry Hill was sort of hungry for power.
Yeah.
When he met Karen, he wasn't that like fixated on her until she sort of showed her way of like fighting back. He was sort of turned on by that. You could sort of see it with like Leo's character in here, I guess. He was somewhat swayed by a sense of power that he wanted, especially like from Hale.
Yeah.
So
he was absolutely, completely under the influence of his uncle. He did not seem to think about his own actions. For me, when he sees the impact, the aftermath of Bill and Rita's house, he looks like he's seeing this in horror, and he's starting to see like, oh, what have I done?
I don't even think he thinks that when that happens.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's like, you know, he keeps on thinking like, oh man.
I guess that was the first indication of like sort of the consequences, but I think when he arrives in jail and when one of his daughters died of whooping cough, that was the moment
Yeah.
that sort of solidified, yeah, my uncle was the one who really like fucked up my life.
Because remember, they kill and like do all that stuff to people anyway. I don't think a burning of a house would change anything.
Well, it was the burning of the house, and then when he returns home to see Molly and he tells her, it seems like he was affected by her reaction too. But I agree, when his daughter dies, that was really what brought him back. I mean, that scene was, that was one of the toughest scenes.
You could feel the weight of his consequences.
Yeah.
As soon as he gets the news.
In terms of like the toughest scenes, it's hard to place that because there are so many tough moments that happen to the Osage in this film. But in terms of for the main character, that is the toughest. Like, that was a tough moment to see.
Yeah.
So there's some deaths in this film of the Osage that we are shown that don't seem directly connected to Hale and Ernest. In the beginning, we hear Molly doing a voiceover of different photos and such of Osage who had passed.
Oh, yeah, that was my favorite sequence. I like that sequence.
Oh, and the throbbing score to that.
Yeah.
So perfect. And then we see a young mother get shot and her baby is put in the house. We see a businessman for oil being shot. Charlie, I think his name was. And there's also what exactly is the wasting illness? So are all these deaths connected to Hale, or are these all deaths a result of what all these white men were doing at the time. Like, we see the same thing with Bill. He didn't take proper care of Minnie.
I honestly think like all these deaths, I even think these deaths serve like story purpose, and I think that's actually better. I think they serve more of a thematic purpose of like, you know, what you said about the white man was doing over there. And I don't even think it's that important if Hale did it or if, you know, you could throw it in there and it still makes a point across. And he does it in such a stylish way where it's like, it doesn't really matter because it's like, you know, it serves a bigger thematic purpose of what is going on with the Osage people. I think I read also a news article where it says, oh yeah, there's so much unjustifiable death about the Osage people in this movie. But for me, I don't know how else you would depict it. But I mean, I don't know. I might be wrong, but I think it's a perfect, you know, takeover of like the whole thing. Perfect representation of what it looks like to have a whole community be taken over by certain people.
Yeah.
So when Ernest is being asked and Hale is being asked about the deaths of Molly's siblings and her mother, they're all kind of wrapped together as if it's all of Hale's fault. So is Minnie and Lizzie's deaths Hale's doing? And same maybe with their daughter Anna that died from the whooping cough?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, I mean, it's a bit obvious that it is, but I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't even ask that question because it's like, it doesn't really matter if, because he says it in the beginning. He says it in the beginning that, oh yeah, I want to have all my people marry this family and take over. Mm-hmm. Obviously, when you're taking over something, you want to get rid of all the people and you're going to do it in any other way. You know, it's almost like a real messed up version of the hero's journey if he's going to achieve his goals or something like that. Mm-hmm. And what the result of it is going to be like. So, I mean, like, if it's all of Hale's doing, it doesn't really matter. It's the thought of, is he going to achieve his goals and, like, you know, what is going to happen when he achieves these goals, you know? Mm-hmm. That's what I normally thought about. And it's almost the same, like what I'm saying, it's the same way as Goodfellas. Because, you know, after that heist, they killed off everyone who was involved in the heist because they were in the way. So, I mean, like, you know, I don't know. I don't mean to be rude, but of course they're going to get rid of. If you're in the way of someone's goal, you got to go. You got to be in the way.
Yeah. So we have to talk about Lily Gladstone. We talked about her briefly a little bit. She gives one of the best performances of the year. Mm-hmm. Do you think she will get the Oscar?
Yeah, I think she would.
I believe she would, yeah.
Yeah, she got the Golden Globe one. Did you get the Critics' Choice, I think?
No, that was Emma Stone for Poor Thing.
No.
But she got the SAG Award?
No, not yet. Not yet, but
okay.
She's one of the people that are up there. Like, she's a front runner, essentially, with Emma Stone, so.
Yeah. Why do you think Molly didn't say anything and prevent Ernest giving her the medicine? Because she's smart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she was afraid of someone, whether it's Hale or Ernest. That was kind of unclear-ish. I mean, when she's asked, who do you most fear?
Honestly, the death scenes are really interesting because, like, the death scene of the mother, he uses some spiritual elements where that bird comes in.
Oh, the owl?
Yeah. I thought that was really cool.
That was fascinating. And then Molly sees the owl.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think soon after, Ernest enters the door.
Yeah.
I'm also wondering, even from that dinner table scene, she asks, are you afraid of your uncle?
Mm.
So I'm wondering if she has been afraid of Hale from the beginning, if she knows what he's capable of, and also why she is quiet in moments where, you know, she could have said no to the medicine still. She did try.
Mm.
Yeah.
And she also came back after DC with these new rules. So why do you think she didn't say something or really put action into getting better and saying no to Ernest with the medicine?
I think it's just because of the time. I don't know the timing of this whole thing. Is that before or after all of her sisters die? If it's after, I don't think she was afraid because she would be glad to join them and her daughter. But if it's before, then like...
Before the daughter passed, and she was getting weak around the time of Rita's passing. Like, she wasn't doing too well when she had visited Rita.
Yeah.
But then she, of course, gets worse. But this was before Anna died. And when the FBI come into Molly's room and take her to the hospital, she's already better by the time of Anna's funeral, her daughter Anna's funeral. So she was getting weak around Rita, but she could have said something. She even says, like, Ernest takes care of me the best he can.
Yeah. Well, I think that goes back to your question about the true love aspect, because I don't even think she's afraid. She knows, she's aware of what they're doing, but I mean, like, she just like trusts him completely to the point where like she's almost like dying from it. It's almost like in that movie Phantom Thread where Alma is feeding like the poison mushrooms or something like that. I don't even think she thinks nothing of the insulin, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. No, I don't know. It's been, like I said, I'm going based off memory, but like, you know, that's what I'm kind of feeling with the insulin type of thing, because like she says, oh yeah, I don't trust Hale's like insulin, but like Ernest is the one that insists she should take the insulin, and you know, but it's mostly going back on that love thing. I think she's just doing it because like she completely trusts Ernest. I don't know. I might be wrong, but I might need to watch the movie again. I never got that, to be honest. But I did get that she's afraid.
Yes.
But I didn't get the part where she's afraid during the insulin. I think the insulin stuff, I think she just trusts Ernest completely.
Yeah, he says it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I assume she took the real insulin, or she got the morphine, and I forget the other, was it heroin that was also tainted in the insulin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and she got off that, and then Ernest says, we were right, it had to get worse before it got better.
Yeah. Did you see Days of Heaven, like with Terrence Malick?
No, I haven't.
There are some parts of the movie where I was thinking about Days of Heaven. I was like, damn, he's like really ripping off like Days of Heaven with some certain shots. It's really beautiful. It's like almost like it's not in the same way, but I mean, like, you know, it's almost like, you know, they got that same feeling, they got the same setting, but I don't know. It's a really good movie. I got it on Blu-ray.
Comparison you made with Phantom Thread, that was a really smart comparison. I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
But that's very true. That's very similar. So I watched this interview with Lily Gladstone, and she made this analogy connecting the Killers of the Flower Moon with climate change and the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, we can love our Earth and extract everything from her at the same time.
Mm.
I mean, that's kind of a parallel to the love of Ernest and Molly. It's complex. Like, as humans, we love the Earth, but as she says, we're all complicit in some way to the downfall. And I thought that was a grand analogy she made.
Yeah, and it's good that Martin Scorsese chose this genre, the Western, because normally they deal with that type of relationship between like modernization and like, you know, the real natural elements.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, like even in like a simpler terms, like a movie like Rango in a way, where it's like, you know, you get the big turtle like trying to make it into like Las Vegas and all the animals are still in, it still kind of deals with the environment. So I mean, like,
yeah,
it's good that Lily Gladstone made that comparison, because, you know, the cowboys are just like, you know, walking that line between nature and modern reality. And that's like almost like the closest thing you could probably even do to it. Because if you do it, let's say if you put this type of story in like any other typical like New York where it's already developed, I think it would get lost, or it'll be like too surreal for the audience to relate, you know? So it's a good choice that he chose like Oklahoma rather than, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the town looks exactly like it did back in the day with those photos that they use. It looks the same. It's really incredible. Oh man, there's so much. It's so hard to talk about this film in such a short period of time because there's so much more I would love to talk about. I have a whole topic on Marlon Brando, images that summarize the film.
Oh yeah, there's that one controversy with that lady that she wasn't even Indian with Marlon Brando or something like that. I don't even know what's going on.
Oh, when he refused the Oscar and
Yeah.
Yeah.
For The Godfather, yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of shocked that Marlon Brando has not been discussed during the press tour by Scorsese or DiCaprio, anyone, because Brando was a champion for the Native Americans, and he had said he wanted to make a film about the natives, but he wasn't really able to. He wasn't allowed to. And I'm kind of surprised that no one mentioned him.
I think it was because he was like one of those characters that's just like, it's kind of like a mixed bag type of character because he's very infamous on sets.
That's true.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, the closest thing he did, he probably did One-Eyed Jacks, but that was almost like a Kubrick movie, but he took over.
Oh, right. Yeah. Kubrick was supposed to do that. Yeah. So what did you, as a whole, think of the film? I know you said it's his magnum opus.
Yeah.
But, like, where would you rate it on a 1 to 10 scale? It sounds like you're going to rate it
On a
high.
1 to 10, I give it about like a 9. It's really high up there, so it's like a 9, maybe 9.2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I gave it a 9.
It's one of those harrowing epics that Scorsese was able to hone together,
Mm-hmm.
and I really appreciate that from him. So,
Yeah. So, in terms of Scorsese films, where would you put this?
because I know I made a top 10 list for myself, but I gotta publish that. But it's somewhere in between like Casino and After Hours, so I'd say like 6 in my top 10 Scorsese films.
I don't know. I say for me, this is almost like I almost kind of put this in the top 3, but I still have to like organize it in a way, or like at least in the top 5, because I still think Raging Bull is like almost his best because it's a very personal movie. Like I said before, it is a culmination of all of his movies put together, you know, in a way.
So in a way, for me, it's like I guess from best to like least. I guess I wouldn't say like worst, but you know, obviously number 1 is Goodfellas, then Raging Bull, then Taxi Driver, then Silence, then After Hours, and then Killers of the Flower Moon. A tad bit above Casino.
Well, I mean, the real question is, what did you find wrong with the movie? Like, did you like the movie, right?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
No, like Elizabeth, you liked the movie, right? Or
Oh yeah, I loved it. My second favorite film of the year, and definitely in my top 5 of Scorsese. I don't know if I have a full ranked list, but this one, it's up there, especially now seeing it a third time. I appreciate it more with this third watch, but yeah, I thought it was phenomenal. And when you really get to the depths of the story, and just, I don't know if we talked too much about the Osage aspect and everything, but
I don't know if we did. I think we kind of like danced around it a little bit. Like we just generalized it with other nations, like, you know.
Isn't that awful?
I mean,
not in a way. It's not as awful as like what DeNiro and Leonardo DiCaprio did with them in the movie, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
yes, that's true. But still, it's like a story about them. The focus is on them. And yeah, that should be a stronger focus point.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah, I'm like reflecting on this episode already, and I'm like, oh no, we haven't talked about them as much as we should. That's...
I mean, it's all right because it's like, you know, it was just them taking over. That's how I saw the movie. So
I guess because we are getting the story from an outsider.
Yeah.
The focus is more on Ernest and Hale.
Mm.
But still, it should have been a stronger talking point because it is important, and we might get an Osage director in the future make a story like this.
Yeah.
That is more, as an insider, we could get more of the story that the Osage Nation would like us to see.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we're qualified for it too.
That's true.
I'm not qualified for it.
Yeah.
I'm not Native American. Like, I mean, I'm qualified because we shared some similar aspects of like colonization and taking over and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm not really Native American. So I can't relate with the struggles.
Yeah, that's true.
To a limit.
But yeah, as great as this film is, it's also one of the toughest watches. It's a very dark film. It's a very sad film.
Oh, yeah.
Because it uncovered something that has kind of been hidden in history and was revitalized through that FBI radio show that is shown through the epilogue.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was FBI sponsored for the FBI's to appear as the heroes of the story. Another reason why the epilogue is excellent the way it is, because it's, again, the outsider is looking in on the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting us be on the podcast.
Of course.
This is fun.
This was a great conversation. I loved hearing your comparisons with other Scorsese films, especially. That was really cool. You guys had a lot of great takes, and I'm happy you both really enjoyed this film. It's really it's a dark story, but it's excellent.
Yeah. It's top tier of the year.
No, I like that type of movie because it's like not that many movies like to go dark anymore. For one, it's like it's too expensive to do, and it's like no one wants to be that depressed in the movie. But I mean, like, you know, Martin Scorsese does a good job, like balancing it all out. So I mean, like, you know, it's all fair.
Yeah.
Fair game.
Yeah.
Is there anything you guys would like to plug or end our episode with today, whether it be a film quote, plug, recommendation, anything you would like to end our episode with?
I guess maybe watch After Hours from Scorsese, because that's a really underrated gem from him. So if y'all haven't watched that, then I highly recommend watching After Hours. It's very different from Killers of a Flower Moon, but like in terms of Scorsese, it's you know, it's definitely one of the definitive movies of his sort of style, of his sporadic style. So
Yeah.
definitely give that a watch. I think it's on the Criterion channel.
Yeah, it's on the Criterion channel.
Yeah.
I got a Gumroad account. I'm charging 99 cents for my movies. I want to get more. I want to be like the next Scorsese, but you know, I got to do it 99 cents at a time.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's on. But I mean, yeah, well, if you like this movie, watch Days of Heaven. That's a good double feature with it because it's like it has the same sort of style.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably have to check that one out. There's a few that Scorsese had said it influenced this film, like The Heiress and other Montgomery Clift films. So
Giant was a good movie too. I saw Giant. That Dean Martin and James Dean. Oh man, that was a really powerful part.
Elizabeth Taylor.
Yep.
Yeah, I borrowed a Kundun from the library, so I'm definitely going to check that out sometime soon.
Okay.
That's also one of those underrated period pieces that Scorsese made in his filmography. So,
And like what I said, you know, I didn't like cinema. You know, I lost my faith in cinema, but now, you know, this is one of the movies that made me like regain my faith in cinema. You know, and hopefully there are more movies made like it. You know, I like these type of like on top. Oh yeah. There's a video on MovieWise called The Encyclopedic Film. He does like a really great analysis of the genre. I think this movie fits in. That's a really cool channel. He's like an Eastern European guy.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. I think there should be more movies made like this. I'm actually surprised. It's probably because it's too expensive and the subject material is too dark.
There should be more films like this. I'm hoping there's way more Scorsese films to come.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of a kind. He's brilliant, and
Unfortunately, he's getting too old though. So hopefully, like, he influences some younger people.
yes.
That's his end goal though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's his goal. The way he tells stories is unlike any other. So truly one of the best.
Definitely.
So again, thank you guys for joining me today.
Thank you for letting us be on here. Thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Yeah.
Of course, you guys you saved this episode. So
Oh, thank you. That
I really
really
appreciate it. Thank you.
no, thank you. I'm so grateful. I honestly thought I wouldn't be able to do this episode, and it was an important one. As you said, this is a rare film. Not many films like this. For this to renew your faith in cinema around this time, that's incredible. So
now I kind of regret not watching it in IMAX.
oh, you didn't?
No.
That's such a shame.
We watched it in Dolby, right?
Yeah, we watched it in Dolby, but like I said, the AMC Orange Park Theater, that's like the place to go.
Yeah.
What's your longest episode on here?
Longest episode was the 2023 in film. That was an hour 42.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I cut these down. I really cut these down.
Oh, damn.
We're at an hour 50, so I got some work to do.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry, man.
That's okay.
I guess we broke some records in a way.
Yes, well, I don't know if it'll beat the 2023 in film episode, but I mean, that's a grand topic. This is a grand topic too, but
Well, it's a grand movie. It deserves it to be.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. And I could
Just make it
I
as
could
long as
go
Killers
on.
of the Flower Moon. So.
I know. I could literally go on about this. I have so much that I could say about this film.
Oh, shoot.
Again, thank you both for joining, and thank you all for listening. Until next time, bye everyone.
All right. See you.
Hi-yo. Do-do-do-do-do-do. You know, that's a Nardwar thing.
Special thanks to Freddy Burgos, Bernardo Goya, and Taylor Donaldson. This episode was recorded on January 18th, 2024.